How about now? Can you hear me now? Fabulous. It always helps to turn the power on the headphones before you start streaming. So if you all can hear me and see the game stream on the screen, we will be able to get rolling. What you see on the screen now is pretty standard Strat user interface for the basketball league. This is the 2018-2019 Midwest Basketball League. My team is the Nature Boys, and you can see my roster here on the far right-hand column. And my game tonight is scheduled against these scallywags known as the Gaithersburg Jedi Knights, managed by my good friend Sam Pearson out in Washington, D.C. It's an 18-team league. We play by emailing files back and forth, and Strat PC Basketball is set up very nicely for this. So at the beginning of the month, each owner posts their game plans for the month to our Google group, and I have downloaded Sam's game plan onto my computer. So I'll go to Game, New Schedule, and the game date I believe is the 17th of February for this one. Yeah, Gaithersburg at Nature. We'll set that up as manual and play. Set that up as a manual game. The computer will be coaching Sam's team using instructions that Sam has sent by email or by posting to the group. And I will be making all of the coaching decisions for the Nature Boys. We have the options to show various animations, ball movement back and forth, rebounding, dice delay, things like that. For my league games, I keep it kind of simple because I'm really focused on the flow of the game more so than the aesthetic experience. There's a couple of different shot grids, sound options, box score options, so that when we send out the box scores after the game, all the details will be included so that when Sam and the other owners look at the box score, they'll get a good sense of what happened in the game. So now this is Sam's team, and you'll notice that certain players are ineligible and certain players are eligible, and that is determined by Sam. We do have a keeper league system in place where every player that you see here is under contract, and however long you want to keep a guy under contract dictates who you can use and how long you get to keep them before they drop out into free agency. The keeper league structure also allows you to hold guys in active or reserve or sort of D-league status. So some of the better rookies, Sam has decided to hold Donovan Mitchell for the season, and he'll activate Mitchell probably next year when he's ready. So Mitchell is inactive for today's game, but the eligible guys are eligible. And when I click import, I can navigate over to the directory where I keep the game plans. And here is the Gaithersburg at Nature game plan that Sam has forwarded. So I import that, and I'm ready to go. This is my team, and I keep the same guys eligible throughout the schedule. And now I have the lineup screen. The Gaithersburg lineups are set by Sam, and my starting lineups have been set as part of my regular game plan, so I don't have to make any lineup changes at this point. I do have some decisions to make about the defensive positioning. As you can see, Darren Collison is the Gaithersburg point guard. He'll be guarded by my guy, Kemba Walker. Collison is a very effective three-point shooter, so I'm going to want to play him close. So I'll use the I'm blanking on. I'll use the versus out. And against Collison, I want to play close. Barton and Paul George are also very effective outside shooters. And as a rule, in Strat and probably in the NBA as well, the three-point shot is a very efficient, very effective weapon. And in the Strat mathematics of the thing, the three-pointer is a very dangerous weapon. So anybody who has any capability of shooting a three-pointer whatsoever, I will play close defense against. Don't know yet what sort of defense that Sam has set up, but I've got everything else good to go. I have the options to run a fast break or a normal speed offense. Sam's going to be running the fast break. I'm going to run the half court. Have the opportunity to change from the standard normal defense to the press if we want to. We can move our guys in and out on offense. If I wanted to put Wiggins down on the block and Randall outside, I could do that, although I'm limited to 2 inside players per offensive set. So that having been set, I think we're good to go. So I hit continue and we go to the game screen. I don't have the sound on, but the national anthem would be playing in the background. And we'll start the game. And Nature Boys control the jump. Now I'm not going to do my usual play-by-play setup here, but I will describe what's happening in the action deck. Kemba Walker has the ball, and he's looking to pass. So here's Kemba. And in the action deck, there are a number of different actions that could be taking place were we playing this with cards and dice. And the computer game is a direct adaptation of the cards and dice game. So the action card that Walker has drawn is point guard pass to any teammate. So you can see I have the choice to post to number 2, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. Walker can pass the ball to whoever he wants to. My best offense in this lineup is Julius Randle on the block. So I'm going to pass to number 4. Randle is against Dirk Nowitzki for an inside shot. That's his only option. If he were an outside player, I'd have the option to do three-pointers, outside shots, or penetration shots, and there would be corresponding lines on the interface here showing basically the relative effectiveness of each shot. So the offensive line here on Randall's inside shot's pretty long. He's got a pretty good shot at making this. The defense is a much shorter line, so Nowitzki's a reasonably good inside defender, but not quite a totally blank defender. And now I have the option of a standard inside shot, or I can try a power move, which increases the chance of drawing a foul and also increases the chance of a three-point play. So I'm just going to start with an inside shot. And it's missed. Collison rebounds. Passes to Barton. Fast break shot by Barton is blocked. The foul is being whistled, and the foul's charged to Patty Mills. So I'll continue. And Barton goes to the free throw line, shoots his shots. And with any stoppage of play, I can always go to the box score and see what's happening. And at the appropriate times, I can also go to the bench and make substitutions. So I'm just going to go ahead and play. This action card went to Dwight Howard, and that was a set play to Dwight Howard called by the action deck. They played it against his defender, Enes Kanter's defensive card, and from the defensive card, Enes Kanter was called for the foul. So that's a foul on Kanter, and we'll set it up with a fresh 24. Now this is a different play. Wiggins now holds the ball, and Nature Boys are running a set play. So the action card probably says small forward has the option to pass to any rated shooter. So you'll see Kemba Walker's got 3 stars by his name because he shoots the ball very frequently. Julius Randle has 1 star. Dwight Howard has no stars. Patty Mills has no stars. And that's an index of relatively how frequently a given player will shoot the ball. So in using this card, we see that players that shoot more frequently will have more opportunities than players that don't. Now, Walker's defense against Collison is normal, which means that he may have a better shot at a three-pointer. So I'm going to show you some non-strat stuff that I have put together on my own. Hey, Nate Hill is here. Welcome, Nate. Nate is one of the owners in the league. He is the owner of the powerhouse Tonawanda Talons team that won the league championship last year. He must have got my email, and he's here to do some scouting. So welcome, Nate. Enjoy the broadcast. And Nate's going to get to see for the very first time how I calculate the shot chances. So I have this little Excel form I created. The block man right now is Enos Cantor, and his ID number is 356. My shooter is Kemba Walker, and Kemba's ID number in my spreadsheet is 57. And the defender would be Darren Collison, who is number 208. And when I put those numbers in, I can now see when he is being defended on the normal defense. A outside shot would be 0.92 points per shot. And that includes shots he makes, shots he misses, shots where he gets fouled. The penetrate is 0.9. The three-pointer is 1.12, so that's the best shot opportunity that he has. So as I suspected, the fact that Collison is playing a normal defense against Kemba rather than a close defense means that there's a pretty substantial improvement in Kemba's ability to make the three. So I'm going to shoot the ball out to Kemba for a three and see what we can do. Fires it back to Walker, and I'm going to shoot the three, and I missed it. George rebounds, runs the fast break. They get the ball to Cantor. He travels, and I've got the ball back. And Julius Randle once again has the ability to find one of the rated shooters. Well, I'm going to keep shooting my threes with Kemba. Now in this case, he doesn't have the three, and that has to do with the relative frequency with which Kemba shot three-pointers in real life. Sometimes he'll be able to take the three, sometimes he won't, depending on his frequency. But as you can see, looking at the horizontal bars, the penetration shot is really the better alternative. So Walker penetrates, and he's fouled. And Walker will shoot the free throws. First shot is up and good. Second shot is up and good, and it's a tie ball game. And now, as you can see, the text scrolls by. I'm not going to try and keep up with reading all the text. The ball is back now to the Nature Boys, and the ball is with Patty Mills, and he has the opportunity. Once again, the rated shooters are available here. Dwight Howard is not available. We're going to push it back inside to, well, let's see, we drew one foul on Will Barton already. So let's see if we can get a second foul on Barton and mix things up. Kemba's open. Actually, we'll shoot the three, and we hit it. So the Nature Boys are ahead now. Paul George misses the three. We get the ball back. And Mills now, this is a directed play where Mills, the action card said basically shooting guard passes to power forward. And based on Mills' passing card, he was able to set up Randle for an open shot, So Randall will have a better opportunity to make this based on a good pass that he received from Patty Mills. And Randall commits the charge. So much for that. Collison hits a three and we're tied. Patty Mills now has the opportunity for threes. And Mills hits it. Now we've got Randall on a reach-in foul. He's got 2 fouls already in the first 3 minutes. So we're going to have to sit him down. So I'll go to the bench. And my first replacement for Randall is going to be Carmelo Anthony. So I'm going to hit the sub, select Anthony to replace Randall. Anthony is a much better outside player, so I'm going to put him on the outside and see what he can accomplish out there. And we'll get back to action. Yeah, Nate says offensive charges are the worst. Robbie says, looks like you guys have fun. We do have a really good time with this league. It is a great group of guys. I've got the Nature Boys. I use a lot of wrestling thematics. Sam Pearson, the Gaithersburg owner, is a big Star Wars fan, so he calls his team the Jedi Knights, and his reserve players he calls the Padawans, and we all have a good time together playing this game. For some reason, Sam has decided to play loose against both my 3 and 4 guys, and that's going to give them opportunities to deliver on the 3-pointers. Now, according to my scouting, the chance that Alan Wiggins can hit a 3-pointer is 10 out of 36. Anthony is a 12 out of 36. So we'll go to Carmelo. He can't get the 3. He's got a relative mismatch against Enes Kanter. So even though Carmelo's not a good penetrator, he's got a lousy defender that he can work on. Or he can work outside and shoot the jump shot. So we'll shoot the jumper, misses. And Gaithersburg grabs the rebound, converts a fast break basket, and Collison scores the layup. Kemba Walker is a 14 rated 3-point shooter. So he's a better 3-point shooter than Anthony or Wiggins. So we're going to go to Walker. Walker doesn't have the 3, but he's going to go to the hole. And this time he's fouled by Kanter, and that's 2 on Kanter. So Kanter has to come out, and Kaminsky will come in, and this happens automatically based on, partly on Sam's game plan and partly on the fact that the computer manager is automatically triggered to pull guys as they get in foul trouble. So anytime you get 2 fouls in the first period, 3 in the second period, 4 in the third period, or 5 with with more than 6 minutes to play in the fourth, the computer will automatically override your game plan and take the guy out of the game who's in foul trouble. So Walker gets a free throw. We're up 2. Collison misses. Walker rebounds, and now we get it inside to Dwight Howard. He misses, but he gets his own rebound, and he commits the charge. There you go, Nate. Another charge for the Nature Boys. That's only 1 on Dwight. So we'll leave things go for now. Barton hits a 3, and the Nature Boys are behind. Anthony's now got Frank Kaminsky guarding him. And we'll try the penetration play, because Gaithersburg already has 3 fouls, and maybe I can get early foul trouble here. Mills kicks the ball back out. Back to Walker. Walker's going to drive. Blocked by Nowitzki. Out of bounds to Gaithersburg. And Gaithersburg finds Paul George for a penetration shot, which he connects on. And we've got the ball back with Kemba Walker. Now he has another opportunity for a 3 against the normal defense. We get the ball back. Walker again has the opportunity to scan the court. And we're going to see if Carmelo can get us a 3. And he missed it. They missed their fast break opportunity. We get the ball back, and it's inside to Howard. And Howard converts that. So back and forth we go. And you can see just by doing the text and not by doing the animations on screen, the game actually flows pretty quickly from one decision point to the next. And if I'm not talking and announcing every single play, I can get through a single game in 45 minutes to an hour. Let's see if Kemba can hit the three. No, he can't. George can't hit the fast break shot. Now we've got Patty Mills open for a three. He, although there's now under 5 minutes to play, and I'm on my normal game plan. I sub guys at 6. So do I call a timeout here and put my subs in, or do I take the three? I'm going to go ahead and go with the timeout and make my changes. Based on Sam's play, Ekpe Udo is coming in to play power forward, and I am going to bring in Nick Batum. And normally this is when I would bring Anthony into the game at the power forward, but he's already in there. So Batum will come into the game. Batum is also my best perimeter defender, so I'm going to put him on Paul George. By using the assign key, I'm going to assign Batum to Paul George, and we'll put Wiggins out on Barton. And I got a technical foul. How'd that happen? That happens randomly from time to time. And Collison makes the free throw. Dwight Howard with the turnover. George misses a three. Howard rebounds, and we've got Walker with another opportunity. Walker started 1 for 5, so he's not off to a great start. But let's see if he can connect on a three. Nope. And Paul George is going to get the and one going the other way. Batum against Paul George is going to try the three. He misses. Walker kicks the ball back out. Walker on the perimeter. Let's see if he can drive. And he gets to the foul line. Foul on Collison. It's under 4 minutes now, so Gaithersburg will sub. I also like to sub at 4 minutes. And the game plan is set up really neat. You have every 2 minutes the opportunity to set guys up to sub. And we do have minutes limitations in the league. So you can govern your guys' minutes very closely by the way you set them up on the grid. And at 4 minutes, it's time for Bojan Bogdanovic to come in to replace Wiggins. And it's time for Tyson Chandler to come in for Dwight Howard. The S column keeps track of player fatigue. Everybody starts at 1, and the more minutes you play, the higher that number gets until you need to rest. So you can see Patty Mills didn't play a whole lot of minutes, and he gets tired more quickly than Dwight does. Same thing over here. Barton and Collison were starting to get tired. So in comes Wright and D'Angelo Russell. Go Bojan, says Nate Hill. I love Bojan. In fact, here's another trick I'll play. Bojan and Carmelo Anthony can both play either the small or the power forward. And this is kind of strat balling, and this is kind of hometown advantage. I am going to swap Bojan and Carmelo. And by doing that, Bojan gets Ekpe Udo as his defender. And that's a much, much better matchup for Bojan. So a little bit of strat balling there. If I was playing against a smart manager on the web play like Nate would say, forget it, Dave, I'm keeping Chandler on Bojan because he's a much more dangerous threat offensively. And so, I could post Batum against D'Angelo Russell if I wanted to, and then he could, if we were playing live, move Udo onto Batum on the post, and that would kind of neutralize that would kind of neutralize that. So there's a little bit of gamesmanship and a little bit of what we call strat balling here when you're playing against a full computer manager. Um, but be that as it may, the cat's out of the bag now. It's not cheating. It's all within the rules of the game, but it is kind of taking advantages of the limitations of the Strat computer manager. So we've got Bojan out there at the 4, Carmelo at the 3. We're going to keep Carmelo playing Udo on the defensive end, and we can do that by the assignment. Assign Carmelo to play Udo on defense. Let's see, D'Angelo Russell is a 3-rated shooter, so he has a lot more shot opportunities coming than either Wright or Chandler will have. So we will assign Batum to play defense against Russell. So the matchups are set and we're ready to get back to action. With Walker at the free throw line, he hits the first, and he hits them both. We're down 3. Russell misses a 3. Walker comes back with the rebound, and he'll try to attack the glass against Delon Wright. Can't do it, but Bojan Bogdanovic gets the rebound for us. Now, something else happened that I just wanted to point out. You'll see how quickly that offensive play went by, because what happened here was the ball went to Nick Batum, who is an outstanding passer, and Batum found Bogdanovic for an easy basket. In Stratomatic, that's what we call a dazzler. Batum has some dazzlers on his card, so as soon as he throws that pass, no matter who the recipient is, it goes as a basket. Bojan gets the points. Batum gets the assists. Players with lots of dazzlers on their offensive cards, as Nate will tell you, can generate a whole bunch of offense. That's probably the most powerful weapon in all of Stratomatic basketball, is a point guard with a lot of dazzlers. And Nate has cornered the market on dazzlers in our league, and so that's why he's one of the best teams. I'm fortunate to have Nick Batum, who can throw these dazzlers from time to time, and just like that, I got 2 points. Then Russell missed a shot. Chandler rebounds, and it comes back to Walker on the offensive end, and Walker's going to penetrate again. Shot blocked. Fast break missed. Rebound missed. We get the rebound. We turn it over. Ball comes back the other way, and Frank Kaminsky gets fouled by Chandler. Nate likes things bedazzled. He sure does, and he is the king of the dazzlers, at least in the Eastern Conference. Although, Nate, did you see that the Nature Boys knocked off Los Angeles last night by 2 points? So that helps you. Nate's team and the Los Angeles Quakes are battling for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. And so I did Nate a favor last night by taking down the top team in the conference and giving Nate the opportunity to pick up a game, because Nate's team destroyed me earlier in the month. So in comes Nowitzki. I've got all my subs set the way I need them to finish out the quarter. So we'll keep rocking. Russell for 3, no good. Nature Boys get the ball out of bounds. Tyson Chandler is open. Now here's another aspect of the Strat card deck that is worth pointing out. Tyson Chandler shoots the ball very rarely, statistically. So you've got this third column, or this third row on the shot grid that says must pass. And Tyson Chandler has a very long white line on his must pass reading. On the physical card, hey Beatles, how are you? Welcome to the chat room. D. Scott Howard wanted to see some Stratomatic basketball, so I decided to stream my league game for the night. And one of my league friends, Nate Hill, is in the chat room with us, and he's providing some color commentary as a fellow league member. Nate's team is way better than mine. My team is going to be lucky to make it to 500 this year, and Nate is looking at possibly winning home court advantage in the playoffs. Um, but as I was saying, on Tyson Chandler's physical card, the word replay occurs on a bunch of his rolls, meaning that he's unable to shoot and he's forced to pass. He's actually got a pretty good shooting percentage. I think he shot over 50% from the floor for the season. So these success lines are relatively long, but the must-pass line is longer. So I'm going to hit the inside shot key, and probably he's going to pass. Sure enough, he passes the ball, and they get it over to Bogdanovich, who's a much more frequent shooter, and you see he doesn't have any must-pass things at all. He's got Ekpe Udo against him, so he's going to penetrate and draws the foul. A very low-scoring first quarter, 17-16. Russell misses another three, and Udo is called for the charge. And they had to pull Udo because he committed his second foul. I've got 27 seconds left, and there's another dazzler for Batum to Chandler. So I'm up three. Russell misses again. Tyson Chandler rebounds. I've got 2 seconds on the clock, so I can either try and set up a shot or just heave up the desperation three. Usually if that's under 6, your best bet is to throw up the desperation three. Occasionally you'll hit one, and not this time. So that's the end of the first quarter. Low scoring first quarter, 19-16 in favor of the Nature Boys. And if we look at the box score, Nature Boys shot 25, or Gaithersburg shot 25% from the field. Nature Boys shot 26% from the field. That's why it is such a low scoring game. 2 for 8 from 3, 2 for 9 from 3. Nature Boys got a couple extra free throw attempts. And luckily Dwight Howard didn't get any of those free throw attempts, which is why we're 7 for 8 instead of 1 for 8 from the free throw line. And our leading scorer was Kemba with 8 points and 3 rebounds. So that is the end of the first quarter. And now I'm going to put my second quarter subs in. I've got Walker programmed to play the entire first quarter, so he's a little bit blown up after that. So we will bring in the backup point guard, Reggie Jackson, not to be confused with the famous outfielder. And we're due to bring Patty Mills back into the game to replace Batum. Everybody else stays put. And let's see what we've got over here. Barton, Wright, Hardaway. Tim Hardaway is the only rated shooter in that group. And unfortunately, all three of these guys are really, really crappy perimeter defenders, which is why my team is doing so poorly this year. Of the group, I think, let's see, the defensive ratings go from 0 to 6, with 0 being can't stop anything, and 6 being stops everything. And of this group, Reggie Jackson is a 3 outside and a 3 penetration. Mills is a 2 and 3. Bogdanovich is a 3 and 2. So Reggie's the best of the worst group of defenders here. So we'll put him on Hardaway just because we can. So we'll assign Reggie to Hardaway. Hardaway is not that huge of a threat, but I would have the option to double team if I were so inclined. And against some of the really good players, James Harden and Russell Westbrook and players like that, I will use the double team option. The main benefit mathematically in Strat of double teaming is to cover up for a very weak defensive player. The way the shot system works in Strat is that with every shot that is attempted, you also roll a six-sided die that has, I believe it's three X's, I'm sorry, three blanks, two D's, and one X in the card game. And if you roll a blank, that means the shot comes off the shooter's card. If you roll the D, the chart that is consulted is the team defense. And if you roll the X, the chart that is consulted is the individual defense. So in the card game, the offensive card gets 50% of the shots. The team defense gets gets 2 out of 6, and the individual defense gets 1 out of 6. Now in draft league play, they switch that around so that individual defense gets 2 out of the 6 rolls, and the team defense gets 1 out of the 6. In league play, all teams have the same team defensive card, which is just basically the composite of the team defense throughout the league. In league plays where in replays where the team defense for a given team is much more important to decide who wins, then the team defense is emphasized more than the individual defense. So for example, if you take a team that played really, really solid defense, San Antonio traditionally played really, really solid defense when it was Tim Duncan and guys like that who didn't give up a lot of points. And so the San Antonio team defense would be very, very strong, and the Spurs had the ability to control a game in a replay setting just by virtue of the team defense card. In Strat, individual defense is more important in terms of draft league play. So these crappy defenders like Reggie Jackson and Patty Mills and Bojan Bogdanovic will be a lot more of a liability in a draft league than they would be in a standard replay. Now, if we were to double team, that simply makes the individual defense go from whatever the rating is to a 6, meaning that whenever we hit that individual defense roll, it's a missed shot. So, that's that. Hey, Rob is here. Mr. Excitement Rob with the exclamation point after his name. And Joey Perchie. Hi, Joey. How are you? Welcome to the chat room, guys. And let's get back to action. I'm doing a lot of tutorial and a lot of talking because one of the guys who frequents the streams, a guy by the name of D. Scott Howard, asked me to do a little tutorial video on the Strat PC game. And I know that Beatles is planning to stream tonight, and other folks may be planning to stream tonight. So please don't feel obligated to sit here and listen to me pontificate for an hour and a half about the intricacies of Strat basketball if there are other things that you want to go ahead and stream. But if you do see D. Scott Howard bouncing around, please let him know I'm here and at his request doing some tutorial work on Strat PC basketball. So Hardaway hit a 3 earlier in the quarter. We're tied now. Reggie Jackson has an opportunity against Will Barton. And again, against the normal defender, I'm going to shoot the three-pointer. Jackson is not a great three-point shooter, so he misses. Down the other way, Nowitzki turns it over. And I've got Bojan working against Delon Wright now. And he can't get it to go. The shooting percentages are not getting any better in this game. Here's Will Barton on a putback, and Gaithersburg is up 2. Reggie Jackson has a shot. He misses from the outside. And now Will Barton gets a foul against Carmelo. And Gaithersburg brings Paul George back into the game. They're playing George at the 4. Interestingly, so it would be this is going to be tough for me defensively, and this is why my team has struggled this year. Because with Tim Hardaway, who's a very good player and a rated shooter, and also Paul George, who's tremendous, I'm going to have trouble keeping up with this team defensively. I do have one solution to that. I'm going to bring in Thabo Sefolosha. His minutes are somewhat limited, so I don't play him as part of the regular rotation, but he is a very solid defender, and I am going to bring him into the game and assign him to Paul George and see if that doesn't help things. They're posting up Will Barton, so I'm going to put Carmelo on Barton down on the post. And we're down 3. Reggie Jackson working against Will Barton. Let's see, I believe earlier in the year I analyzed this matchup, and against the normal defending Barton, Reggie hits .86 points per shot, or is basically an 86 from the outside and a 91 from three-point range, so he's slightly better from 3, and he misses it. Now Paul George hits a 3. We're down 6. Reggie Jackson's going to try another 3, and he misses again. I got the rebound this time, and Bogdanovich is now matched up against Paul George, which is a much tougher defensive matchup for Bojan. And again, the mathematics says just shoot the 3. And again, I've missed, and we're now under 10 minutes, and Gaithersburg calls timeout to put some subs into the game. I'm not due for any subs quite yet, but I am going to need to move my defense around. We'll keep Anthony guarding Barton in the low post. Keep Sefolosha on George, and everything else looks good to continue. And George scores again. We're down by 8. Carmelo turns the ball over. George penetrates again and misses. And Carmelo has the opportunity to set up a play. We'll go back to Reggie Jackson. Chandler sneaks in for the offensive rebound. And again, he hits the replay, so he can't score. And Sam Pearson just got called for a technical foul. How about that? Bojan is my best free throw shooter, and he hits the foul shot. Let's see if Reggie can get something going. He's 0 for 5 already here in the game. Outside shot, he's 0 for 6. And Collison converts the fast break pass to Hardaway, and Hardaway lays it in, and the lead is 9. Carmelo misses against Hardaway, and Gaithersburg converts another fast break shot. It is not getting any better for the Nature Boys, as we can't buy a basket for anything. And with every missed shot, Gaithersburg is converting these fast break opportunities, and they've opened up a double-digit lead. Let's see if I can get something with Bojan going to the basket. And I got it, finally. Basket and a foul for Bojan. He is a weapon. And I am due for some subs now. It's going to be Julius Randle and Dwight Howard coming back into the game, and that's going to help. Oh. Make sure Randle gets on the low post. The defense still looks okay. And actually, Wiggins is due to come back into the game, but that's not going to happen while Bojan is shooting the free throw. And Collison misses. Cephalosha rebounds. Jackson has another opportunity to shoot, but he is 0 for 7. And we're at the 6-minute mark, so it's time for some more subs. I'm just going to take a timeout and get my frontline guys back into the game. In comes Wiggins. In comes Batum. And in comes Kemba. And I've got everybody over here the way I like. Hey, D. Scott Howard made it into the chat room. Welcome, D. Scott. I have been streaming now for about 45 minutes and gotten through the first quarter, and there's a lot of tutorial stuff and a lot of explaining of how the Strat PC game works. So you can take a look at that when you get the chance. Watch the first quarter or so, and you'll see how the lineups are set and how the managers work and how the basic flow of the gameplay goes. And then you will hopefully get your interest in Strat. I love Strat PC basketball. I know that people in the community have been critical of Strat because their customer service is lousy and their pricing modules are lousy, and there's a lot of valid criticisms out there when it comes to Strat. But the thing I like best about Strat, both in terms of baseball and basketball, is that these are card games first and then PC games, and you can understand the card engine and know exactly why every play works the way it works in a game. I know why I'm down 8 points, because my defensive players are lousy and I'm missing a lot of shots, and Gaithersburg is converting fast break opportunities, and I know exactly how that works in the action deck. Yeah, this just in. Strat's customer service is lacking. Yeah, promise not to tell. Okay, defensively, gosh, I've got some fixing to do. Dwight Howard's my block man. Their top shooters on the court now would be D'Angelo Russell with his 3 stars. So we'll assign Batum to defend Russell as my best defender. Nowitzki outside is... Dirk actually does not have a shot rating this year. For the first time in a long time, he didn't shoot frequently enough to get that asterisk by its name. And so with these other guys, Randall is a much better perimeter defender than an outside defender. So let's see, if I look at the shot values, the outside shot values of the other players, let's see, Collison is a 21. He must have a lot of replays on his card. Barton's a 78. Nowitzki is actually a 24, so he's got some replays on his card as well, or else he just really has a lousy outside shooting card. So I'm going to put Randall on Nowitzki, Batum on Russell, Wiggins on Barton. So actually now it's all lined up just right. I've got point guard on point guard, shooting guard on shooting guard, etc. So here we go. Batum has the open shot against Russell. Russell blocks it. Howard rebounds, 24-second violation. On the other end, D'Angelo Russell misses, and Wiggins has the opportunity now to set up a play. And let's see if we can get Kemba Walker going. Finally, he got a penetration shot. And Russell comes back and hits a three. Walker's going to penetrate again. He's heating it up now against Aaron Collison. And they get Kaminsky for the charge. Walker against Collison again, starting to heat things up. And this time he gets to the free throw line. Let's see, yeah, I've got all my guys in for the rest of the quarter, so I don't have to worry about subs. Walker misses both the free throws. And Nowitzki hits a three, so we're down 10. Walker gets his shot blocked, but we get the ball back. Let's look down to Randall this time. See what he can do against Dirk. And he gets to the line. We're going to pick up the pace of play here as Nature Boys missed two more. We've missed 4 foul shots in a row. That's not helping the cause. Randall inside against Nowitzki. Dwight Howard gets the offensive rebound, and he gets it to go. And Gaithersburg makes a couple more subs, keeping guys fresh. Kaminsky's a little tired because he had to play some extra minutes in the first quarter when Cantor got in foul trouble. So we'll put Batum on George. Wiggins is a slightly better defender. Actually, he's got 3 rated shooters. Russell is a 3-star. Paul George is a 1-star. And Hardaway is a 1-star. So he's got 3 rated shooters in, and it's going to be tough for me to keep up with these guys defensively. And Kaminsky misses a 3-pointer. Nature Boys commit a turnover. Mute misses a shot, offensive rebound, and Russell hits a 3. Now, Julius Randle, who's also a very good passer for a big man, gets an open look for Dwight Howard, and Howard gets his shot blocked. And another fast break and another layup for Gaithersburg, and we are down 13, and things have gone from bad to worse. Let's see, Randle against Nowitzki. I don't have the odds on that. Actually, it's Mute now guarding him, who's a really good defender. So we'll go back to Walker and see what he can do from 3-point land. Nope. George to Russell, and another fast break for Gaithersburg. Boy, the Nature Boys are getting embarrassed tonight. I hope Sam Pearson doesn't show up for this for this game, or else it's really going to be a horrible experience. Look at that. Kemba's 1 for 6 from 3-point land. Okay, now he's 2 for 7. And the lead's back to 12. Hardaway misses the 3-pointer and a loose ball foul on D'Angelo Russell. 1 minute to play here in the second quarter. Kemba Walker is looking to pass the ball. Randall's our best matchup. Inside against Mute, no good. And another fast break basket for Gaithersburg. They are running that fast break to perfection. Dwight Howard gets one to go. Russell holding for the last shot, misses the 3. Hardaway puts in the rebound, and we're down 14. And let's see if we can get one more shot from Julius Randle. He hits it at the buzzer, and we go into halftime down by 12. And look at that, 36 points in the first half. That is just lousy. The box score now has Gaithersburg at 41% from the field, 7 for 19 from 3. And Paul George with 12 points is the leading scorer for Gaithersburg. On the Nature Boys side, look at that, 28% from the field, 12 for 43. 9 for 14 from the free throw line, 3 for 16 from 3-point range. And we are just not looking like a team that's interested in even playing 500 basketball at this point in time. Walker with 15, largely based on getting to the free throw line 8 times, is the leading scorer for the Nature Boys. All right, enough of that. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Let's see. Beatles is going to stream some baseball tonight. Looking forward to that. Welcome, Rob. Welcome, D. Scott. Yeah, Robbie says, honestly, the computer game interface needs work too. And again, I agree. I'll probably have a lot to say about the computer game and the whole Strat issue Tuesday night when I get on the interview with ID Jester, because I know that's something that he feels pretty strongly about. And we'll talk about that on Tuesday night. But yeah, the Strat computer game interface is rudimentary at best. And now Appa, Jabronis. Rob is going to stream, actually. Okay. Trade me Randall at the half. Okay, Nate, what do you give me for Julius Randall? We can talk about that. Because Randall is a really, really good, undervalued player, especially in Strat. He can throw dazzlers. He can rebound. He can convert offensively. I really like Julius Randall as a Strat card. And Nate, man, my buddy Nate is the most aggressive trade guy that we've had in this league in a long, long time. He gets his mind on wanting to trade, and he will pursue. I told Nate once that he pursues trades like a horny frat boy at last call. That's what it's like trading with Nate. With Nate, he's just going to keep putting his requests out there and wear you down. So, Nate, I love you, man. Thanks for joining the chat tonight. All right, so second half. Let's see. I'm due to bring back Patty Mills, and I'm due to bring back Anthony. And we'll put Anthony outside. And we'll assign Wiggins to guard Russell because he's the most frequent shooter. And Wiggins is an average defender, which makes him better than anybody else on my team at guarding guys on the perimeter, other than Batum and Cephalosha, who are my best defensive players on the perimeter. And there's an opportunity. Something else happened here that is worth calling out. Collison took a penetration shot, and we have this Dwight Howard moves over and tries to stop Darren Collison. Everybody who plays interior defense has an intimidation rating, which is based on a 20-sided die, and you'll get this opportunity for the shot blocker to block a shot, which is rolling a 20-sided. Dwight's block rating is 11, so when Collison took that shot, Dwight had an 11 in 20 chance of blocking the shot, and if he doesn't block the shot, it goes in. So Dwight was unable to block that shot. Ekpe Udo, who is on the block for Gaithersburg, actually has an 18 block rating, which is stellar. He'll block 90% of those opportunities. And Al Baumchill is in the chat room. Welcome, Al. Al is another league member and a good friend. He is the coach of the East Texas. I can't even remember the name of the East Texas franchise because I always call them the East Texas Old Farts or the East Texas Dinosaurs. Al is one of the few guys in the league who is even older than I am, and we are not at all hesitant to let him know about that. Yeah, Rob, the 55% is 11 out of 20. So That's where I got the 55% for Howard as the shot blocker. Udo is an 18 out of 20. The East Texas Dinosaurs. That's what they are. So yeah, good old Al and the East Texas Old Farts. Okay, so what's Andrew Wiggins going to do? Wiggins has about even opportunities for outside versus penetrating. Early in the quarter, I like to penetrate because I'm hoping to get the other team in foul trouble and get more free throws. Of course, the way I shoot free throws, that doesn't help. But when it's a 50-50, sometimes I'll try the penetration, and it did me no good. Russell misses a penetration shot. They get the ball inside to Dwight Howard. I'm going to go with the power move this time. Again, it's early in the quarter, and I want to see if I can get Gaithersburg in foul trouble. And sure enough, in this case, Dwight Howard goes strong to the hole, and Nowitzki fouls him. And Dwight's going to hit the free throw. Dwight Howard hits 2 free throws. My goodness, how about that? D'Angelo comes back with a dazzler to Nowitzki, and it's still a 14-point game. Howard inside again is going to go strong. Can't get that one to go. And Collison converts on the other side for Gaithersburg. Patty Mills is good for nothing but 3-pointers. He's in there to shoot threes. He misses. Nowitzki gets open and he scores. And the mountain is getting steeper and steeper for the Nature Boys. Kemba Walker is looking to pass the ball. Let's see who we got out here. We got Carmelo against a normal defender, and he hits the three. Finally, got a 3-pointer to go. Howard with the rebound, taking it strong against Dirk, and he gets another basket. And just like that, we're back within 13. And Sam Pearson has seen enough. Timeout charge to Gaithersburg. Brought in a couple of subs. Let's see, Paul George is back in the game. I'm not quite due to bring Batum in yet, but this would be a good opportunity again to plug in Cephalosha at the 2 guard and assign him to Paul George. Wiggins guarding Barton. Inside guys guarding inside. And Cantor gets a putback for Gaithersburg. Cephalosha with the turnover. Cantor with another inside basket. And we're down 17. Howard back out to Cephalosha, who's a good 3-point shooter. Not this time. And Will Barton hits the jumper, and we're down 19. Kemba Walker looking to pass the ball. Let's see. Cephalosha's 3 is 13. Yeah, he's the best 3-point shooter on the floor right now besides Walker. So we'll give Cephalosha a shot at a 3. And missed again. George on the penetration basket. Kemba looking for a pass again. Cephalosha for another 3, and he missed again. And Paul George on the penetration, and it is getting ugly. Kemba Walker looking to set up a play. Let's go to Anthony this time. I'm way behind, and I'm just jacking up 3s now. Chandler misses a 3. Dwight Howard gets in there, and he gets the foul, and he gets to the line. All right, 6 minutes to play. Time for some subs. Now it's time for Batum to come back into the game. And Julius Randle, who, contrary to the rumors flying around in the chat room, did not get traded at halftime. So we'll put Randall back in the game. We'll put him on the block. Al, since you're here, I put Randall into the game, and Nate immediately offered to trade for Randall at halftime. So not surprisingly, let's see. Yeah, George will be guarded by Batum, who's my best outside guy. We'll get back to action here and see if Dwight can hit some more free throws. And he missed that one. 3 out of 4. That's not bad for Dwight for free throw shooting. George tries to penetrate, rejected by Batum, and we come back the other way. Kemba Walker, my leading scorer. Although he's only 2 for 7 from 3 and 2 for 6 from penetration. I need threes when I'm down this far. And Walker got me one. Paul George misses. We get the ball back. Barton misses a 3. We get it back to Walker again. He's got the hot hand. Another 3-pointer, no good. Rebound Cantor. And a penetration shot for Paul George. Randall inside against Wilson Chandler. That looks like a nice matchup. And Randall commits the charge. How about that? Nothing's going right for the Nature Boys here tonight as we're down by 21. Maybe if we get it to 15 or so by the end of the quarter, we can make a run in the fourth. But there's clearly no reason to think that's likely to happen. So time for some more subs. Amir Johnson will see his first action for the Nature Boys. He's part of my three-headed rotation at center. Neither Tyson Chandler nor Amir Johnson had quite enough minutes to be a full-time backup, so I need to walk those guys in and out. Reggie Jackson's due to come back in to give Walker a rest. And good old Bojan is due to come back in. And everything defensively looks to be in good shape. So let's get back to action. Cantor has his shot blocked. Randall for 3. Oh, goodness, he's not a three-point shooter. Hopefully that replay will come into play. He misses it. And Collison leads another fast break, feeds Nowitzki for the basket, and leads back to 23. Reggie Jackson open on the switch against Barton. Gets one to go. First basket of the game for Reggie Johnson. Reggie Jackson has 3 home runs, 4 RBIs, and 4 fouls. There you go, Rob. And let's see. Johnson got me a steal. Looking for somebody to pass to. Let's dump it down to Randall. And he gets to the line. And here come the rest of the Gaithersburg subs. Randall misses the free throw. And he hits the second, and we're back to within 20. And Randall comes to the bench and says, please, 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 Dave, trade me to Tonawanda. I want to win. I'm tired of these Nature Boys. D'Angelo Russell, the Buckeye, to the free throw line. And what's Bojan going to do? Let's go into Randall again. Jackson with the offensive rebound. How about that? And he gets the putback. Question from Robbie. Do we play only our home games? That's correct. That's correct, Robbie. I play all my home games. It's a 80-game season, so that'll be 16 games per month for 5 months, and that'll be 8 home games and 8 away games. And at the beginning of the month, I sent out 8 game plans to my conference opponents. We post them on the Google. It's not a Google group anymore. It's an IO group. So there's a public website where we post everything, and then I come and download the files from my opponents. And for folks that were here at the beginning of the broadcast, you saw how I was able to import Sam's game plan into the game so that his lineups and his strategies would be in place for for the visiting team, and I play the home team. Reggie Jackson's looking to pass the ball. Let's see if we can get Bojan going. Nothing doing there. Johnson with the putback, and he's fouled. So 2:16 to play. Amir Johnson for 2 shots. He gets 1 out of 2. Oh, but he gets his own rebound. But he can't get the putback. Russell misses the 3 on the other end, and we get the ball back. Jackson scans the court. And let's go to Bojan again. Let's see what Bojan can do with the jump shot. Good. Got it to win 17. Russell misses. Hardaway with the putback. Reggie Jackson gets to the line. Here comes Udo back into the game, the shot blocker. Jackson hits his free throws. Delon Wright hits an outside jumper. Ekpe Udo steals the ball and lumbers up the court. Gets it over to Russell, and Russell fires the dazzler to Delon Wright. And we're down 21 once again. Bojan looking to pass. We'll go to Randall. And Randall gets a basket. 9 seconds to play. Hardaway for 3, misses. Udo hits a replay, and that does it for the quarter. I was hoping to get it within 15. I got it within 19. So something really spectacular is going to happen for the Nature Boys to come back. 59 points in 3 quarters is just lousy offense, and especially for the Nature Boys. We're usually good for about 105 points a game or so. But unfortunately, we've been giving up 110, and we're below 500. But we'll go with some Nate asked a question, do you not get the cards on PC or just not use them during the game? That's an interesting question, Nate. I do buy the physical cards, and I analyze those to get to populate my spreadsheet that I use during the games. I've never tried using the card image viewer either for basketball or baseball, but that would be an interesting thing to try sometime. 59 is a decent quarter for me. Yeah, Nate's got a very high scoring team because he's got guys that throw dazzlers and he runs that fast break. And that's all about the point guard. You really have to have a super point guard to run the fast break in Strat. And the point guard is by far the most important player in Strat basketball, both in terms of the ability to run the fast break and the ability to create points off dazzlers in the half court. The 2 years that I did win the championship, way back when, I had Andre Miller at the point guard, and then the second year I had Jason Williams, the little guy from Sacramento who could run the fast break and dish out dazzlers, and those were the glory years for the Nature Boys. Kevin Garnett, Ben Wallace, Peja Stojakovic, and Andre Miller and Jason Williams running the point were my best years. So yeah, the point guard is vital in Strat. Nate, who's your point guard this year? I can't remember. Did you get? I know Nate has Giannis, who is a machine, and I can't remember. Did you get Harden or did you get who's running your point? Al is getting past your bedtime, so Al's gonna take his Metamucil and his glass of warm milk and probably miss the fourth quarter comeback from the boys. Good night, Al. Thanks for dropping in. After improving the interface, Strat needs to come out with Strat college basketball. Dinwiddie, yeah, that's the guy that Nate's using to run the point. Dinwiddie and Ish Smith, who Actually, Ish Smith was a former Nature boy who was traded to Nate in exchange for Anthony Wiggins. I took a flyer on Anthony Wiggins. I signed Kemba Walker in the offseason as a free agent, so Walker and Jackson were my point guards of choice. Ish Smith was expendable, so I sent him over to Nate for Alan Wiggins in hopes that Wiggins will pan out to be something near his athletic potential, which hasn't happened yet. But Walker and Wiggins hopefully will become a more serviceable backcourt group. Bojan might have been in that deal too. I don't remember the details of it, but I remember Wiggins for Ish Smith was the core of that deal, and I think there was a draft pick involved and some cash and this and that. And let's see, we're at the beginning of the fourth quarter. So Patty Mills is due to come back into the game. Wiggins is due to come back. Actually, Wiggins is not due to come back. Bojan is still supposed to be out there. And Carmelo Anthony is due to come back at the 4. And I'll do that 3-4 swap again and see if Bojan can't cause some problems for Frank Kaminsky on the perimeter. And Tyson Chandler is due to start the quarter at the center position. So Jackson Mills, Anthony, Bojan, and Chandler. Good. Okay, yeah, Bojan's going to be outside. That all looks good. Defensively, we're going to put Anthony on Kaminsky. And we'll keep Jackson on. Well, let's bring. Now, I'm not going to waste Cephalosha's minutes in this kind of a blowout. And Jose Luis Cascales is in the chat room. First time I have run across Jose before. Welcome to the chat, and welcome to some Stratomatic basketball. Enjoy the fourth quarter of a horrible blowout. I'm playing the Nature Boys, my draft team, against the Gaithersburg Jedi Knights, and losing badly because I cannot buy a basket. So Patty Mills, he's out there to shoot threes, and he hits one. All right, the comeback begins. Barton misses a three. Jackson with a dazzler, and we're within 14. Russell on the penetration shot, gets it to go. Tyson Chandler makes a rare basket. D'Angelo Russell to Kaminsky inside, blocked by Anthony, but fouled. So Frank the Tank will get some free throws. He's a good free throw shooter. Got 1 out of 2. So the lead's 15. Mills can't hit the 3 this time. And Tyson Chandler's called for the reach-in foul. Jose is a fan of the UCAM Murcia team of the League ACB First Division Spain. Welcome. And let's see, not due for any subs yet, but let's look at our defensive alignment. Yeah, Paul George is here, so we're going to give Cephalosha a couple more minutes against Paul George and see if he can't stem the tide here a little bit. What's George going to do? Three-pointer no good. Rebound Chandler. Stolen by Kaminsky. And Bahamute for 3, and he hits it. That doesn't help the cause. Reggie Jackson against Luke Bahamute. Normal defense. I don't think I've seen this. Yes, I have seen this before, and it looks like the penetration is Reggie's best shot, according to my numbers, but can't get it to fall. Rebound by Dirk Nowitzki. And Paul George commits the charge. How about that? Bojan is picked up by Collison. He should be able to convert that, and he misses. Ha! Cephalosha, Bojan for three, misses. Oh, Chandler gets the rebound. Passes it back out. Cephalosha hits the replay. Tyson Chandler with 9 on the shot clock. Passes the ball. Bojanovic for three, misses it. And Kaminsky hits a three going back the other way. And once again, we're down 20. Cephalosha against Collison, can't get it to go. Loose ball foul, Paul George. All right, we're under 8, so it's time for some subs. Walker's due to come back in. Wiggins is due to come back in. And Dwight's due to come back in. You can see that Wiggins now has an asterisk in his fatigue rating, as does Cantor and George. The asterisk simply means that the player can play the rest of the quarter without experiencing any fatigue. So Wiggins is good to go for the rest of the game. If I want Shane Larkin, I can bring him in at any point in time. I may bring him in later when garbage time rolls around. Other guys have varying levels of fatigue here. Let's get back to action. Kemba Walker against Darren Collison. Let's jack up a three. No good. Bojan gets to the line. How about that? And we're down 19. And Russell hits a penetration shot. We're down 21. Dwight Howard against Cantor. Converts from the inside. Paul George hits a three. Wiggins looks to set up a play. Let's let Bojan drive on Dirk and get the two. Russell hits a penetration shot. Bojan's going to try another penetration shot. Can't get this one to go. Wiggins with the putback, and he's called for the charge. Okay, under 6 is my last opportunity for subs. And that means Batum comes back in for Cephalosha. And Randall comes back in. Still a member of the Nature Boys. He'll go back to the low post. And let's see, we'll assign Batum now to guard Paul George. We'll assign Wiggins to play Kemba Walker. And that should be good for now. Paul George misses on the penetration because of that stellar defense by Nick Batum. Randall with the open pass inside to Dwight Howard, and Howard commits the charge. Nate, you called that one. How about that? It's a 22-point lead for Gaithersburg. Russell misses. George misses the putback. Randall gets the rebound. Dylan Wright switches and is covering Kemba Walker. So let's, well, Kemba hasn't taken a jumper all night. Let's try the jump shot. He gets it to go. And Russell with another penetration shot. He's fouled by Julius Randle. You know what happened here, Nate, was that this all went wrong in the fourth quarter because Al left. Al had called that I was going to come from behind, but then he left and went to bed. So the fact that the Nature Boys comeback did not happen is all because we lost our good luck charm when Al had to take off. Paul George against Andrew Wiggins hits the jump shot. D'Angelo Russell hit. Man, Russell is on fire. 22 points for that guy. he was great as a Buckeye, but hadn't seen that kind of production out of him consistently in the NBA, much to my disappointment. We'll let Batum take the jump shot, no good. And Russell with the dazzler. Oh, Sam sent an email and said he tuned in for a little in the second. That's awesome. He should be around to gloat over this 24-point lead that Gaithersburg is enjoying. Kemba's looking to pass the ball. Haven't gotten much out of Randall. Only 7 field goal attempts so far. He's now 2 for 8. Barton misses a 3. Cantor misses the putback, and Randall gets the rebound. I'm pretty sure the real reason was Randall's pouting. Goodness. Okay, that's timeout charge to Gaithersburg. This must be their 4-minute subs. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug on these guys. I'm going to bring Shane Larkin into the game for no other reason than he's the son of one of my favorite big league ball players. Let's see. We'll give Amir Johnson a couple minutes. Just put fresh guys back in the game. And Chandler is fresh. And Amir Johnson actually can shoot the occasional three-pointer. So we'll put him on the perimeter just for fun and see if he can't hit a 3 for us. Dylan Wright misses the 3. Amir Johnson's open for 3. And he passes it. Wiggins for jump shot, no good. Sports Time Machine is here. Hello, Mike. How are you? I'm just doing some Stratomatic basketball, some tutorial work. And this is my draft league team, the Nature Boys, that are on a good night, a 500 team, and tonight's not a good night. We're getting our clocks cleaned with 2 minutes to go in the game. But thanks for stopping by. I think Beatles or Rob is going to do some streaming after we're done here, so there'll be more to do yet once this game is over. Wright misses a 3. Batum throws a dazzler into Chandler. Can we get it to within 20? No. Paul George hits the penetration shot. Let's see if we can get a 3 for Amir Johnson. He misses it. Do I want to intentionally foul with 20 seconds to go and a 26-point deficit? I don't think so. Andrew Wiggins. And he hits a 3. How about that? 108-85. Cantor misses. Johnson rips down the rebound. That's the end of the game. Final score, Gaithersburg 108. Nature Boys 85. Beatles is bringing Ernie out of his cage. That's way more interesting. Anybody that's still here in this chat room, when you could be watching Beatles and his Ernie Harwell baseball broadcast, needs to get over there. Get to 85 for free tacos. All right, Nate, that's just adding insult to injury, pal. And before Nate leaves, if somebody can post the link to Beatles Eternally's stream, Nate, if you are at all interested in dead ball era baseball, check out Beatles Eternally and his baseball stream. So yeah, if somebody can post the link to Beatles chat room, and maybe we can get Nate over there for a few minutes to look at some baseball. I know I'm going to be heading that way as soon as we wrap things up here in the Nature Boys game. So here's your final score. George with 26 points, 9 rebounds. D'Angelo Russell with 22. And yeah, Paul George gets player of the game. Kemba Walker hit 20 for the Nature Boys. 16 for Bojan, 15 and 10 for Dwight. So not a stellar night. The first half was the killer. 36 points in the first half, and we just never came back from that. And our biggest lead was 3. So that's Strat basketball. My stream lasted an hour and 31 minutes, but I did a lot of talking on that. I can typically play a game, a draft league game like this in about 45 minutes or so. But I did a lot of talking. As I mentioned earlier, D. Scott Howard asked me to do a demo of the Strat basketball on PC so that he could get the flavor of what that's like. So I actually spent a lot of time delving into the details of how the action cards work and how the player setups work and how the defense works. And yeah, please feel free, D. Scott. I've been playing. This league has now been in existence since 1996. So we're in season 23, season 24, something like that. The core group of guys remains intact. Guys like Nate and Al Bombchill, who is here. Sam Pearson was here for a little bit. Larry Foster, my good friend. Great group of owners in this league, and it's been fun to be part of this league for 26 years. I'm much better at being a commissioner than I am at being a general manager. And guys like Nate Hill, who is a very shrewd general manager, have just been running rings around me in recent years. Lots of substitutions in this game. Yeah, that's true, Rob. Because our guys have minutes limits in the draft league setup, so I need to babysit minutes very carefully. And if you look at my minutes, Howard is good for about 28. I got to keep guys' minutes under control over the course of an 80-game season so that we don't run into overusage problems. All right, so I'm going to knock off the streaming tonight. Thanks everybody for coming. Rob, Robbie, Beatles, Utah Mike, D. Scott Howard, Nate, thanks for coming. Al Bombchill was with us for a while. Jose Luis Cascales, I hope you enjoyed your time here in the chat room with us. And if you're a baseball fan, please check out Beatles Eternally, who does a great job with his streams. Let's see if there's anybody else I missed scrolling up. I think I caught just about everybody who was here. And with that, we will call it a stream. And Dave Gardner was here for a bit. Thanks, Dave. And we will see you guys around. And like I always say, that's our stream, and I am out of here.